everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So I quickly want to speak about my top 3 hormone balancing food, and I'm going to keep it very simple. The number 1 being leafy greens. Yes, so your cabbage, your cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, radish, turnips, all of these vegetables, depending on its availability and where you live, these vegetables are brilliant when it comes to detoxification, when it comes to the cleansing, and when it comes to the detoxification of your liver. So your liver survives and thrives when you give it leafy greens, especially cruciferous leafy greens. And there is something known as phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification inside the liver. Okay, so that means that your fat soluble toxins actually have to go through these 2 phases before your body can excrete it out in the form of urination or just pass out in a form of stool. So it's very, very important that you are having enough of greens, because again, when you have something that is rich in fiber, it's going to help you get rid of the toxins, and at the same time it is going to get you rid of the excess hormones that is floating inside the body. And when there is hormone inside the body that you don't need, it can create a havoc, and all we are trying to do is balance the hormones and keep it at an optimal amount, and that is where your cruciferous vegetables help you. Now when it comes to thyroid, a lot of people have this notion that you should not have cabbage and everything because if you have thyroid you should not eat it. I wouldn't say that it is entirely incorrect, but remember, okay, back in the 1950s, when the primary reason for anyone to have a hypothyroidism condition was usually deficiency of iodine, but ever since, like our water supplies and the food supplies and so many salt and everything has iodine inside of it, and the way we eat, we have more than enough iodine now, given that your body is absorbing and taking it well. So the primary reason for hypothyroidism and iodine deficiency is no longer the cause right now, and 90 to 97% of the hypothyroidism case is due to Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune condition, and Hashimoto's has almost very less to nothing to do with iodine deficiency. Okay, so the goitrogenic effect that a lot of people worry about isn't really correct, and at the same time, if you are someone who doesn't do well on it, all you can do is always saute it, ferment it, cook it, boil it, have it in a form of soup, and just cook it really, really well. So that is going to be amazing. Now again, at the same time, your like cabbage and cruciferous vegetables can be rich in something known as glucosinolates. Now this is a compound that can hinder in the absorption of iodine. So according to your blood work and reports, if you think that it's looking great and good, and if you're not worried on the front of iodine, I think you're going to be very, very safe. Okay, my number 2 favorite would be, so I love all nuts and seeds on this front because of high fat and protein content, and if you have seen the other videos, you would know what the hormones are made up of, so that is great. But when it comes to nuts and seeds, my one favorite seed that I would highly recommend is flaxseed, because flaxseed is rich in phytoestrogens, especially something known as lignans. Now phytoestrogen is nothing but a plant estrogen, so like we have estrogen, so the plants would have it too. And even phytoestrogen is also sometimes termed as an endocrine disruptor, but you will have to eat such high amounts of phytoestrogens for your body to be able to even have some kind of effect. So if you just look at phytoestrogen, it can mimic estrogen, but not entirely and exactly. So if you are minutely deficient, it can definitely help you. And when you talk about lignans in particular, that the flaxseed is rich in, along with omega-3, fiber, and antioxidants, the lignans can have estrogenic and anti-estrogenic effects. So it can actually come into your body and it can see what needs to be done, what needs to be fixed, and it can act accordingly. So we are very, very safe on that front as well. So enjoy your flax seeds. I would say even soy is a phytoestrogen, but that is something that I would not highly recommend because of just the way it's, I think, one of the most genetically modified foods that we have available at this point. So that is something that I would wean off. But if it is in a fermented form, it's not bad, and you can have it if it is good quality, non-GMO, organic, and the same song. And my number 3 would be, you guessed it, it's either desi ghee or extra virgin cold pressed coconut oil. So initially you can I would always begin with ghee and coconut oil, but of course eventually you can move to your cold pressed oil and stuff. But at this point I would, so if you are someone who is severely hormonally imbalanced, believe me, your ghee and coconut oil is your best friend. Make sure that the quality is great. Satvik is doing great work when it comes to ghee. Pure and Sure is a good brand when it comes to coconut. I also like Two Brothers, they do great ghee, and I've already mentioned a few more brands for ghee in my last video, so you can check that out. But cooking your food in ghee, or having ghee and coconut oil and good amount of fats and saturated fat and fat from your nuts and seeds, it's something that is really, really, really going to help you when it comes to balancing of the hormones. So I hope it helps you, and I just don't need you to worry. I like, believe me, hormones is something that you can easily balance, and they are the most